I want you to feel the powerful consequences of your vote. I will never in my life trust a Latino for Trump.
President Trump, we love you.
You're a danger to yourself, you're a danger to your family, and you're a danger to your community. And I want nothing to do with you, and I don't feel sorry for you. And for what exactly? A pat on the head from the whites? For white proximity? For white validation? Latinos for Trump are the ones who voted to have ICE raids on their own families and their own friends and their own community.
I do not take lightly the release of this video.
Ooh. Ooh. Y'all niggas better stay safe out here, man.
Turn on Telemundo. You tell me how many people of color you see on Telemundo. You tell me how many brown and black people you see on that show. Tell me if they're casting. Turn on Caracol. Tell me how many people of color you see on there. Like, I don't want to hear it that we're this progressive community. We're not. So yeah, I 100% believe it. And for all of these freaking people who are Latinos that voted for Trump, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. He doesn't like you, he never liked you, and he's never gonna respect you. And if y'all weren't born here, he's gonna try and find a way to get you deported. So, congratulations for looking stupid.
Mi gente, this is going to blow your mind. And I'm mad at myself that I didn't know this before, right? But the story I'm about to tell you, by the way, I'm gonna give credit to the content creator that did a whole 2-part dossier on this stuff, okay? But when I learned this, and I knew bits and part of this, but the content creator put it in a whole picture for me, because I had heard things throughout my lifetime that I didn't quite understand. However, because Puerto Ricans are automatically considered citizens, right? So when it comes to everybody else, I didn't know. But you do know that Cuban Americans, or at least the cliche is, that Cuban Americans look down at every other immigrant coming from everywhere else, right? It's always been the perception that they're the gold standard for immigrants, right? But anyway, like I said, go look at her video in total. So there's this thing called the Cuban Adjustment Act, right? And in that act, there's some special provisions just for Cubans that are not given to any other immigrants. Go figure, right? Now, let's just say that a Cuban comes over from Cuba, lands on the United States. Under that Cuban Adjustment Act, they automatically qualify for 8 months of public assistance. So they get a welfare check for 8 months, right? And they also qualified for Medicaid, medical. It doesn't matter what's wrong. It allows them to go into the hospital, allows them to have doctor's appointment. Now think about it, that's 8 months. 4 months later, after being in the US for just 1 year, they automatically qualify for residency or for a green card. And once they qualify for that, they automatically have access to all the benefits all other Americans have worked for. And here's where this gets a little bit interesting. I heard one time, right? Someone said this to me, and I didn't quite understand, and I should have, inquired some more, right? But someone said to me, you know, a grandmother from Cuba could come over here, and without having worked a day in her life, she automatically qualifies for SSI. Now I understand how. So once they're here a year, they qualify for all your other benefits. And so I want you to understand that no other immigrant coming from anywhere else gets this type of assistance. And it really blows my mind that they would look down on anyone knowing that they don't have to work so hard for their citizenship. But you want to know the most interesting part of this that blew my goddamn motherfucking mind?
Why did so many Latinos vote for Trump? Many Latinos have a fantasy heritage, and the US is a perfect place to entertain those fantasies given its history of white supremacy. Fantasy heritage is a term coined by Dr. Frank Perez at University of Texas, El Paso. And as Paula Ramos writes in her book, it's the idea that when the situation calls for it, many Latinos can prioritize their whiteness and erase the specificity of their indigeneity. Proximity to whiteness leads to the erasure of indigeneity. This is one of my favorite quotes. The delusions of fantasy heritage can easily morph any semblance of indigeneity and darkness into whiteness, thus turning Latinos into the ultimate conquistador. It is much easier to embrace fantasy heritage than to deal with the complicated, violent, and messy past that we have with race. So just like Don Quixote, we believe we're a noble conquistador instead of someone fighting our own mind.
Comprehend the support from the African American community to Donald Trump and mass deportations. They don't like you guys either. If all Mexicans leave tomorrow, guess who they're gonna pick on next? The next minority, which is you guys. They can deport us because, you know, we're not from here, we're illegal, go back to your country. They can't deport you guys. You guys are born here. So what do you think they'll do about you guys and get away with it? Deporting us is not going to solve America's issues. So why are you guys so supportive of somebody that doesn't like minorities? Seriously, think about it. Just because you're born here doesn't mean you're one of them. I promise.
Yes, I've seen the videos of black people taunting the Mexican community. Yes, and I can understand where that is coming from. It is coming from the decades, the years of the disrespect, the anti-blackness, the racism coming from the Hispanic community. It's frustrating and it's angering because you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my black ancestors. So for you all to come here and disrespect us when we have not shown that in kind, yeah, I can understand why these videos are popping up. Furthermore, I still don't understand all of the smoke that y'all have for black people when these are the people who are implementing the policy to boot you all from these United States.
Here's the thing. What do you want all of these people here for? Like, what are you trying to do? I don't understand it. You got people here who need jobs too. Why y'all, and quit acting as if the hiring, y'all don't even want to hire nobody. I know several people out here who have lost their jobs and have been looking for jobs for almost a year now, and they can't find none. Even the temp agencies ain't hiring people. You know who I do see working? Is migrants. They're working just fine.
I don't give two shits that families are being separated if somebody's getting deported. I actually find it hilarious. It gives me a great deal of comfort.
You got no smoke for these demons who specifically voted for Donald Trump to have you separated from your family and deported from this country as inhumanely as possible. You got no smoke for all of these people who are celebrating this happening. Imagine, Mexicans, that you've got thousands of racist white magnates cheering on and sharing news reports like that. They love what is happening to your community. They voted overwhelmingly for this to happen to your community. And you've got no smoke for them. You've got all the smoke for black people who overwhelmingly voted for your community to be safe. But don't get up on this app talking about how unified your community is when your unifying leads to your destruction.
What is happening to the Latino and Hispanic community right now?
Where 92% of black women voted to protect all marginalized communities, especially the Mexican community, where 77% to 80%, because I've seen where it comes to black men, I've seen between 77 and 80% of black men voted to protect all POC communities, specifically the Mexican community. I'll take how black people stick together over how you all stick together.
You laugh at us. I've seen you at town hall meetings, illegal as hell. Some dude from Guatemala somewhere telling a black woman to her face at a town hall in Chicago that she's lazy and he's gonna take all, they're there to take all their jobs. He said it. You can still find it on YouTube.
You working. No more money for you. Bye-bye.
Go back.
No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
If you hate immigrants and you're for the mass deportations, hate them all the way. Stay out of beautiful Mexico, stay out of the beautiful beaches, retire in your own country. I never want to see you go to another Mexican restaurant to order enchiladas, burritos, tacos, margaritas, none of that. You're not even allowed to have Taco Bell, even though that's a knockoff version of Mexican food. Never touch another bottle or shot of tequila in your life ever again. Don't go visit beautiful Mexico, stay out of Tulum, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, all of those. Go visit Nebraska, go visit Kansas, stay out of beautiful Mexico, go visit the red states that you love so much. Clean your own house and mow your own lawn. Get in the field and start picking fruit. Go build the houses and I want to see you pop them up quick. No more listening to salsa, merengue, bachata, reggaeton, cumbias, none of that. Listen to your own music. You don't get to love the culture, but hate the people that created the culture. And if you're a Latino that hates immigrants and that is for the mass deportations, never in your life use that Latino card ever again, because you just use it when it benefits you. Call yourself a gringo, act as white as you can, and let me know if they see you as one of them. Y viva Mexico!
This is the problem with Democrats lumping all of us into one big nasty soup called BIPOC or people of color. We're not all the same.
This guy is so anti-black, so racist, that he is focused on being disrespectful towards black people, trying to antagonize black people, rather than trying to work to save the people in his own community. That's how deep racism and anti-blackness runs throughout your community. And there will be no unity between black people and the Hispanic community until they address the racism and anti-blackness that festers within your community.
Put your community on the back burner and advocate for their community. Now is not the time for black and brown to come together. The time for black and brown to come together has passed. That day was on November 5th. We knew the assignment. The 92 and the 82%, we knew the assignment. We knew the assignment. Every time a community gets attacked, the first thing they do is go run into black people like we owe them something, never having given us anything. We don't owe them shit.
You need our help. We're supposed to help you keep stepping on our heads to get to the top. That's weird. You guys get home loans. You come here, I have business articles that prove, that show that you people come here because you got a clean credit file. See what I'm saying? You can go to the Small Business Administration. They have a special page set up for you people. They call you undocumented. They have a special page set up for you people to start a business, to get business loans, to start your business. Why do you think it's them who have the food trucks all the time? I haven't seen a black person with a food truck in Denver. It's always a taco truck. That's just a fact. Or an Asian fusion, some kind of thing. That's a fact. I live here, so you can't gaslight me. Maybe it's different where you are, but I know what I see. You can't gaslight me on something I'm looking at. It's very noticeable. So you need our help. But you come here, you're here 2 years, and you're doing a ribbon cutting ceremony, moving into your brand new house, while Black Americans are still on maybe Section 8. I don't know. Over the past 4 years, y'all have taken all that up too. But you need our help. You need us to feel sorry for you now.
President Trump, we love you. We will support you all the way to the end. Thank you for everything you've been doing.
Finish the wall! Finish the wall! Finish the wall! Finish the wall! Finish the wall!
We're part of the opportunities. There should never be a time when American citizens are living on the freaking streets in the cold. And y'all are all housed up making TikTok videos talking about your new dental work and your new nails and your new clothes and your $400 a night hotel stay for free.
With Trump rhetoric of the southern border of migrants, why would the Latino population support him in such a way?
Well, think about it like this. Maybe you and I always identify as a Latina, and when I do that, I always think about the fact that my parents are Cuban exiles and Mexican immigrants, right? But there is a sector of Latinos that don't want to see themselves in that way, and do not want to see themselves lumped with other immigrants.
Trump all the way.
Are you for Trump?
Absolutely.
So what would you say to someone who says you're Mexican and Trump hates us?
He doesn't hate us. He hates the lawbreakers. He hates the illegals. Don't come here illegally. Welcome. Come. I did. Not illegally.
You think you won. The only thing you won was the election. You lost your country. You lost your self-respect. You lost your freedom. If Trump does all the things that he said he was going to do, we're in for a world of hurt. All of us. All of us.
Yeah. So even if we think about how the Latino community has changed in the last 20, 30 years, now we're talking about a community now that is a lot more Americanized and assimilated. Yep. Most of the Latino voting bloc is under the age of 50, yep. US born. Yep. Hablamos en inglés, no en español, betting on this one idea. And that is the fact that there are some Latinos that are so Americanized and assimilated now that they too will sort of buy into the nativism. That they too will really look at hear the words, send them back, and not at all see themselves reflected in that them.
Okay, y'all, so did y'all hear that story about this Latino guy? He's Latino. And he made it known here on TikTok that, you know, he voted for Trump and he's a Trump supporter and everything like that. Well, in his neighborhood, you know, there's a white guy across the street, like his neighbor or whatever. And I guess they never really had any words or anything, but since this Latino guy, you know, since he, you know, voted for Trump or whatever, you know, his kids wanted to go over and play with this white guy's kids. The white neighbor, right? The white neighbor was like, no, get the hell out of here, and pulled out a pew-pew on him. And then shot the pew-pew twice up in the air. And told him that he was not welcome in the neighborhood. And he was not welcome over on his property. So now, this Latino guy is looking real stupid. So now he's been posting this video about the situation all over the internet. Like he's been posting it on TikTok and all on Instagram and stuff like that, expecting people to feel sorry for him. That's what you get. I find it ironic. That's what you get. He lucky the white guy didn't shoot his ass. Because if he had shot him, the white guy wouldn't have went to jail. He wouldn't have went to jail. But that's what y'all voted for. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all Latinos, whoever y'all are, Trump supporters, y'all are going to learn. If you are not white, if you are not a part of the white supremacy group, you are going to learn the hard way. You are going to be put back in your place, one way or the other, by those who have decided that you are not one of them. Let this be a lesson.
I can't believe that the Latinos voted for Trump. I can. I believe it 100%. Girl, y'all have to stop acting like it is just Cubans that are racist and conservative in the Latino community. Coming from a Colombian girl. Look at the politics of Colombia. Yes, I know our president is like more left-leaning this time and very progressive. But girl, look at the politics and the history. Look at their stances on abortion. I know she's decriminalized. However, that just means that you can't go to jail if you get an abortion, okay? Or if you're a doctor that conducts an abortion. That does not fucking mean that it is socially accepted.